Cristiano Ronaldo being hounded by Lionel Messi.
You ain't seen nothing yet, mate. So to this day, Messi and Ronaldo have faced off against each other on 37 different occasions, starting from the frequent Barca vs United UCL ties of the late 2000s, to a decade of chaotic clashes in the craziness of the Catalans versus the conquerors of the capital city that is El Clasico, to even a couple of ties in the recent past post that phase. And while they both during all this have had performances that range from mesmerizing, to dominant, to average, to even straight up ghost city, today we're going to look back at every single one of those 37 games one by one and determine who out of Messi and Ronaldo was the better performer each and every time. But first, as usual, here's the criteria upon I'll judge each performance. Number 1, the final scoreline. Far from the most important factor in this conversation, but impossible to completely leave out. It's a team game at the end of the day, so here this will hold 10% of the weight. Number 2, key moments. Be it goals, assists, passes, runs, shots, doing something against the run of play. Basically anything that changed or threatened to change the dynamics of the game, mainly due to that individual. And this will hold 20% of the weight. Number 3, performance relative to the team, aka how well they are doing their job compared to their teammates, aka how well they are doing when their team is doing well, aka how well they are doing when their team aren't doing so well. This will hold 30% of the weight. And number 4, as usual, how well did they do their job? So again, as usual, I'm not gonna mark Messi down for having less sprints than Ronaldo. He plays in a possession-based team who dominate like 70% of possession per game, while Ronaldo plays in a counter-attacking system that relies on explosiveness and small windows of opportunity. And similarly, I'm not gonna mark Ronaldo down because he completed less passes or whatever than Messi. That will be ridiculous for the same reasons. And this will hold 40% of the weight. Hope that's all clear? Of course it is. Now that we've got all that cleared, here is every single time Messi and Ronaldo have faced each other and who really performed better each one of those times. Let's roll on. Number 1, Barcelona 0, Manchester United 0, 23rd of April 2008, UCL semi-final first leg. Weird to think that even from the very first encounter, these games were already being billed as Messi versus Ronaldo. And in this first encounter, neither of them were disappointing, but neither of them were perfect. Because while Messi regularly tormented United's defense and came close to splitting it open on occasion, he did only play for an hour before being replaced. And while Ronaldo on a couple of occasions seemed to walk past the Barca defense for the bans and even won a penalty for his troubles early on, he did then knock that very penalty wide himself, so it was close, but because he did play for 50% longer, was the center of basically everything his side did going forward and arguably should have won a second penalty at one point. I'd say Ronnie takes this, but it was close though. Talk about foreshadowing. Point, Ronaldo. Number 2, Manchester United 1, Barcelona 0, 29th of April 2008, UCL semi-final second leg. Now this is a little less close, but still very good performances from both. But the difference was, you see, while Barcelona just did Barcelona like Barcelona tend to do, the United defense actually focused specifically on Messi, surrounding him at pretty much every chance. And while he did do bits given the circumstances, he just couldn't free himself enough to match his counterpart, with Ronaldo running at the Barca defense all night and even being involved, albeit inadvertently, in Scholes' match-winning goal. Point, Ronaldo. Number 3, Barcelona 2, Manchester United 0, 27th of May 2009, Champions League final. And we finally get one that isn't even remotely close. And even having said that, none of them were actually bad, because even in his last Manchester United game for 12 years, Ronaldo was once again his side's biggest danger on goal, but this time with a much simpler approach. Basically shoot from anywhere, and it almost worked on multiple occasions. But even so, this was Leo's night, because not only did his goal secure the UCL for Barcelona, but the goal itself was a header which even CR7 himself would have been proud of, though he didn't look it at the time, but I'm sure he was inside. Point, Messi. Number 4, Barcelona 1, Real Madrid 0, 29th of November 2009, La Liga. Another pretty straightforward choice here. Ronaldo's first Clasico, for which he wasn't even fully fit for and was taken off just after the hour mark, was basically one to forget. Like, he wasn't terrible, but he just was no match for Messi on the day. And truth be told, Pellegrini's makeshift defense of a team that was still trying to find their rhythm were too no match for an on-fire Leo that day either. Never stood a chance. Point, Messi. Number 5, Real Madrid 0, Barcelona 2, 10th of April 2010, La Liga. Okay, so when I say that this was another straightforward decision, please don't take this as a disrespect towards Ronaldo, because bro, he was good in this game. But again, G, not only did Messi open the scoring, but by this point in the season, he had that centre forward position pretty much nailed on, and I don't think too many could say that Pep made the wrong decision. Sorry, mate. Point Messi. Number 6, Barcelona 5, Real Madrid 0, 29th of November 2010, La Liga. Right, so I get a fair amount of grief here from Messi fanboys when I say that Messi's passing and playmaking is hilariously overrated. And well, sorry, but it is. However, this doesn't mean he isn't capable of turning in playmaking masterclasses. Of course he is. Just look at this game. Not only did Leo stack up 2 assists, he also kept turning up in pockets where defenders did not wish to go, threading little balls through at his will and having a lot more success with it than he usually does. And while I don't appreciate this fake smug horseshit and prefer people who are just outright honest pricks, if there was anyone who'd earned the right to be smug that night, it was this man. Point Messi. Number 7, Argentina 2, Portugal 1, 9th of February 2011, international friendly. Okay, so I didn't realize that I'd get this many of these on this list, but yeah, another banger versus banger. Ronaldo leading out a dead-ass Portuguese side where he led from the front and even pulled the scores back for them at one point. But again, there's a clear winner here, because not only did Messi slash the Portuguese defense open with a brilliant ball to Di Maria who opened the scoring, not only did he score the winning penalty, not only did he do all that while being targeted like a motherfucker by some of Ronnie's cronies, Ronnie himself was taken off around the R mark again, so yeah, pretty clear this. Point Messi. Number 8, Real Madrid 1, Barcelona 1, 16th of April 2011, La Liga. Don't you love it when something like this happens? Man, it was like Hogan Warrior at Mania 6. Both men matching each other move for move, with the move here being penalties of course. But to be fair, even outside that, it's still very close. I mean, yeah, Messi was obviously much more involved as he should be, and toyed with the Madrid defense as he does, but Ronaldo as usual was always his side's biggest threat on the counter, rattled the post and even helped win the penalty he scored. So, yeah, I'll do it. It's the first one on this list, but spoilers, it won't be the last. Point tie. Number 9, Real Madrid 1, Barcelona 0, 20th April 2011, Copa del Rey final. So, you know what's very hard to do? Play centre forward for a manager for the very first time, and do so in a cup final game against your biggest rivals, who just happened to be the best team in the world at the time. For any other footballer, the pressure alone could have finished them, but for CR7, pressure is merely the force that makes him come to life. Point Ronaldo. Number 10, Real Madrid 0, Barcelona 2, 27th of April 2011, UCL semi-final first leg. Yeah, no such poetry for this one. And it's pretty ironic because Messi that day was poetry in motion. And to think it came in the Champions League against the Champions League's most successful side ever at the height of Barca's rivalry with that side, where they did their darn best to hack him down at every opportunity, especially after going down to 10 men. Incredible. Point Messi. Number 11, Barcelona 1, Real Madrid 1, 3rd of May 2011, UCL semi-final second leg. The return leg of Leo's laceration of a lackluster Los Blancos a week earlier, and although CR7 was certainly better than he was in the first leg, he was moved back to the wing here, as he should have been. When Messi was in flow around this time, he just seemed unstoppable, involved in almost every Barca move in the attacking third. This was another night of the Madrid defenders mostly chasing shadows, and I've said this before, but while he was this mesmerizing for years on end, there was no other season in Messi's career where he delivered so consistently in the big games. Point Messi. Number 12, Real Madrid 2, Barcelona 2, 14th of August 2011, Spanish Super Cup first leg. In an unbelievably thrilling encounter in the beginning of the season, Ronaldo served his duties out wide pretty well, beginning with a bang by almost setting Benzema up inside the first few minutes, but Messi does take the point again as he did ruin Real's defense to put Barca ahead before the break. Point Messi. Number 13, Barcelona 3, Real Madrid 2, 17th of August 2011, Spanish Super Cup second leg. For the casuals out there, this is the game where a mass brawl broke out near the end. Mourinho put Tito Villanova in the eye, and Messi... Ozil, of all people, got all vexed and began berating all them Barca-based, bogus and bitchy Blaugrana ballbags. And to think they were trembling with nerves when face to face with Ozil back then. Can you imagine them facing Ozil now? But yeah, either way, as far as Messi and Ronaldo, well, CR7 was the first to find the net here, and to be honest, I'm shocked he wasn't nominated for Puskas for this goal. Well, do that. But not only did Messi score 2, he continued the streak of tearing Madrid apart all through this game and was actually so good that even Ronaldo couldn't help but celebrate one of his goals. Love that classic knee slide. Point. Messi. Number 14, Real Madrid 1, Barcelona 3, 10th of December 2011, La Liga. While the last game ended with a bang, this one began with one. A goal within the first minute. Man, the Clásicos around this time were crazy. Though having said that, as far as the GOATs go in this game, neither were outstanding as such. Like yes, Ronaldo did cause the defense panic a few times by running at them and firing some stinging shots, and Messi linked up play pretty well and even got an assist in the books, but I wouldn't say either of them took the game by the scruff of its neck or anything. But for the sake of semi-nitpicking to separate the performances, because he did get the assist and, you know, they did win the game, I'd have to give the Barca man the slight edge here. Point. Messi. Number 15, Real Madrid 1, Barcelona 2, 18th of January 2012, Copa del Rey quarter-final first leg. So in the last few entries, I quite rightly spent the majority of the time waxing lyrical about how amazing Messi was. But let's not forget, while all that was happening, there were also numerous times where CR7 was skinning these men for the bants. And while with Alves it was a battle on the wings as expected, Ronaldo's first goal in this game perfectly sums up what his dynamic was like with PK. It was usually on the counter, began with a sprint, followed by a pause, and ended with PK throwing himself into the ground trying to stop a shot and, well, failing more often than not. Good stuff. And as far as Messi, well, despite a decent assist, he was pretty quiet for most of this game. Well, he was quiet as long as a shaved chihuahua looking unhinged psychopath motherfucker wasn't stepping on his hand. Man, I love the guy now, but Pepe was such a twat back then. Point. Ronaldo. Number 16, Barcelona 2, Real Madrid 2, 25th of January 2012, Copa del Rey quarter-final second leg. So for Ronaldo, the return leg here was pretty much the same story. He continued humiliating PK and Alves, and once again opened Real's account on the day by beating the offside trap and getting around Valdez. Meanwhile, while he was certainly more lively than the first leg, Messi still wasn't on the level he so often was in other games around this time. Like, don't forget, this was the year he scored 91 goals. Even then though, he still got this sumptuous Maradona to Canigia-like assist to, well, I think he meant it to Fabregas, but it was Pedro who took the chance. So brilliant moment, but in the grand scheme of things, he fell a little short. Point. Ronaldo. Number 17, Barcelona 1, Real Madrid 2, 21st of April 2012, La Liga. Calma. What can we say? The game that all but sealed the deal for Real, the game where Mourinho truly and finally dethroned Guardiola, the game where 100 points began to look like an actual possibility, the game where 90,000 people were metaphorically silenced by the wrath of one man. Calma. Point. Ronaldo. Number 18, Barcelona 3, Real Madrid 2, 23rd of August 2012, Super Cup first leg. You know, did these men play each other loads around this time. It was like Liverpool versus Chelsea years earlier, but you know, with football you can actually stay awake watching. And I'm sure at least partly because of how often they played each other around this time, by the time this game came around, Mourinho slowly began getting the hang of containing Messi. It's pretty simple really, just kick the crap out of him as early as you can. And even then, let's be honest, he wasn't contained all the way, was he? The man still did have one or two moments of brilliance and even slotted in a pen to put Barca ahead. Though in truth, he still just wasn't a match for CR7 on the night, cause to this man, it just didn't matter how dominant Barca were. Not only did he make the most of the windows of opportunity Real were given, even heading them in front in early on in the second half, but aside from a gift to Di Maria by Victor Valdez late on, Ronaldo did seem like Real's only real threat for the vast majority of the affair. Also familiar with this. Point. Ronaldo. 19. Real Madrid 2, Barcelona 1, 29th of August 2012, Super Cup second leg. While all these fixtures were this to an extent, this tie in particular was very much a game of possession versus counter-attack, but with the latter clearly winning out. I mean, Real had like what, 4 clear-cut chances inside the first half hour, with Higuain giving Real the lead in the 11th minute and, yes, Ronaldo doubling that lead in the 19th minute after flicking the ball over Piqué and eventually firing a, to be fair, not so great shot past Valdez, but who cares, they all count the same. And yeah, that goal basically summed up Ronnie's performance. He always seemed to have a way of getting around the Barca defense, mainly from progressing the ball as quickly as he can via either a shot, pass or take on, so Barca don't get enough time to get their shape back. And as for Messi, while this wasn't his greatest classical display, something has to be said of this free kick. Christ, man. Point Ronaldo. Number 20, Barcelona 2, Real Madrid 2, 7th of October 2012, La Liga. So this was the famous 2-2 game where both GOATs scored both goals for both teams. Ronaldo chipping in with 2 super cool finishes that were either side of a Messi brace that included one scrappy poke inside the box, and yes, another insane free kick. And for those reasons, I really do think I'd be doing both of these legends a disservice if I chose between them here. Man, we really were spoiled back then, weren't we? Point tie. 21. Real Madrid 1, Barcelona 1, 30th of January 2013, Copa del Rey semi-final first leg. This game is a very good example of how I see football differently from most of you ignorant popbags online. Cause listen, fuck what the stats and rating systems who think we're in FIFA say. This is one of CR7's greatest classical performances ever. This man led out a pretty young and inexperienced Real side against basically a full-strength prime Barcelona, was a handful whenever he got the chance to be, dragged Madrid through at times, actually could have very easily dragged them to victory if Benzema wasn't going through his early years of classical Benzema run at the time. If you remember, you remember. And look, once again, it's not as if Messi was bad in this game either. He did register an assist after all. But sorry man, in context, that matters very little. Point Ronaldo. Number 22, Barcelona 1, Real Madrid 3, 26th of February 2013, Copa del Rey semi-final second leg. One of the very few times during this era where Real left Barca completely helpless. And as expected, this was mainly due to this man. Oh, and also Di Maria doing this to Puyol. That was rude, fam. But yeah, mainly because of him. Opening the scoring by slotting in a pen he won on his own, doubling Real's lead after, you know, Di Maria did this. Ronaldo led from the front again as Real ran rampant in the Camp Nou, easily securing a place in the Copa final that year. Happy retirement, my guy. Point Ronaldo. Number 23, Real Madrid 2, Barcelona 1, 2nd of March 2013, La Liga. Okay, so straight up, out of all the substitute appearances on this list, this was easily the best performance. Bro casually strolled on in the 50-something minute and damn near ruined these man multiple times. And man, I won't lie, this is why this was such a close call, despite Messi playing pretty well himself. Like hell, he's the one who scored Barca's goal. And probably for that, I'll have to give it to Leo. Point Messi. Number 24, Barcelona 2, Real Madrid 1, 26th of October 2013, La Liga. So in a game that witnessed the classical debuts of two individuals that were touted as the successors to the GOATs at the time, unlucky lads, Nani and Bojan know how you feel. But you see, the question for us here is how did their introductions impact the performances of the GOATs? Well, for Messi he wasn't really involved all that much. He did his usual walking around, but with the side still getting used to the integration of Neymar, they still really hadn't found their feet yet, and this clearly affected Leo. Poor guy. Now imagine how he feels. Oh, and speaking of him, much like the many of the big games around this time, Ronaldo operated almost exclusively out wide, was a problem whenever he got on the ball, and eventually ended with a pretty sweet assist in the final minutes. Point Ronaldo. Number 25, Real Madrid 3, Barcelona 4, 23rd of March 2014, La Liga. In a list filled with absolute crackers, for the neutral, this may be the best game of them all. I've said this before, but boy, this was like a movie. But in another fit of irony, a movie where the one with the movie star looks mainly playing a supporting role. I mean, he wasn't bad, but he was certainly outshone. And to be fair, despite his hat trick, even Messi was flipping outshone. Like, bro, bro, let's be honest, this was the Di Maria show. But yes, because he did score a hat-trick, in the process becoming the Clasico's all-time top scorer, Leo takes this. But you know what, that's besides the point. Go and watch this game. Trust me, you won't regret it. Point. Messi. Number 26, Real Madrid 3, Barcelona 1, 25th of October 2014, La Liga. So much like the one when Neymar made his Clasico debut, this was yet again a pretty quiet affair for Messi. And surprise, surprise, it was the game where Suarez made his debut. Funny how Messi tends to take a while to adjust to new teammates. How sad. Now imagine how he feels. Oh, and speaking of him, this game came right in the middle of one of the hottest streaks of Ronaldo's career where it seemed harder for him not to score. And I won't lie, I remember being kinda disappointed that he only managed to net in a penalty. Talk about expectations. But even outside that though, Ronnie was brilliant here. Point. Ronaldo. Number 27, Argentina 0, Portugal 1, 18th of November 2014, international friendly. So this was a bit of nothing, an autumn time friendly in Old Trafford where they were both substituted at half time. But I guess because it took place at Old Trafford, Ronnie just seemed more lively throughout the 45. Point. Ronaldo. Number 28, Barcelona 2, Real Madrid 1, 22nd of March 2015, La Liga. Finally, after a little while actually, we get a game where both of them turned up to play. Because while Messi wasn't as involved move to move as he usually is, he still put it on a plate for Jeremy Matthew for the opener and really made the moments count when they were presented. Speaking of which, as I've alluded to earlier, Ronaldo in this game took his position on the wing and remained there for the bulk of the game as he did in the big games during this time. And again, as usual, Alves didn't really have many answers for him unless he was helped out, as Ronnie did his best for mainly an underperforming Real side during this time, even poking in their goal to put them level at one point. But as far as who gets the point here, man, it's super close, but I'll give it to the winner to split hairs once again. Point. Messi. Number 29, Real Madrid 0, Barcelona 4, 21st of November 2015, La Liga. So in this game, Ronaldo was the only threat for his dreadful team, came super close on a couple of occasions, and did his job the best he could considering the Benitez-infested circumstances, while Messi only played for about half an hour, came on when his team were already 3-0 up, and didn't really do much to rattle the dynamics of the affair. And yet, this is a tough decision. Why, you ask? Motherfucker lost 4-0. I mean, look, yes, that does only count for 10% here, but come on, man. He got fucked. But you know what? Yeah, I'll give it to him, but just know that it was super close to being a tie. Just don't lose 4-0 next time, mate. Point. Ronaldo. Number 30, Barcelona 1, Real Madrid 2, 2nd of April 2016, La Liga. And he didn't lose 4-0 next time, did he? I mean, if you know anything about Ronaldo, you know that he doesn't make the same mistake twice in a row. And this was sweet revenge. Once again running at them at every chance. Once again causing danger at every chance. But this time also doing his fair share of defensive work when he got the chance. This was one of Ronnie's best displays in this fixture. And while Messi himself came close on a few occasions, the night belonged to CR here. No questions asked. The memory remains. Point. Ronaldo. Number 31, Barcelona 1, Real Madrid 1, 3rd of December 2016, La Liga. Another Hogan Warrior move for move affair, but this time neither of them were standouts as such. Both caused danger when there was an opening, both had some flashy moments spread across the 90, and ultimately, both were pretty good, albeit a tad underwhelming. Point. Tie. Number 32, Real Madrid 2, Barcelona 3, 23rd of April 2017, La Liga. You can hack him down if you want, you can kick him up and down if you want, and you can elbow his teeth in if you want, because none of that would change the fact that there was simply nothing stopping Messi that day. And yes, as I said in another video, as a legendary moment, this celebration was pretty overrated, but as far as his overall performance in the game, epic. Point. Messi. Number 33, Barcelona 1, Real Madrid 3, 13th of August 2017, Super Cup first leg. Another tale of Ronnie's revenge. And look, you can't really describe this performance here as legendary, you can't really describe it as amazing, nor can you describe it as majestic. So what word can you use? Boss. Not even an adjective, but it sure works. Like, bro, this guy came on, scored a disallowed goal, got back up, smashed it in top bins, flexed his super sharp trim, body and tan, pushed the referee and dipped. See you later. And yes, just like the Messi celebration, as a legendary moment, it's definitely overrated. But as far as bad man impact on one-off games go, it is fucking boss. Point. Ronaldo. Number 34, Real Madrid nil Barcelona 3, 23rd of December 2017, La Liga. Right, so you see how I was struggling for the right adjective for Ronaldo's performance in the previous game? Yeah, no such stress over here. Messi in this game was simply magical. Genuinely felt like one of those circa 2011 big game displays from Leo here. Point Messi. Number 35, Barcelona 2, Real Madrid 2, 6th of May 2018, La Liga. Ronaldo's final Clasico and the game where both men scored their final Clasico goals. And it even ended in a stalemate, cause of course it did. However, unlike a couple of others, this was far from a stalemate as far as the individual performances go, cause while Cristiano was struggling with a knock and was quite rightly substituted at half-time considering that A, Real had key UCL ties around this time, and B, this tie resembled more of a fucking kung fu movie than a football match, Messi stayed on, danced around Ramos, kicked the crap out of Ramos, and stared directly into Ramos's face after doing so. This is the sort of direct prickishness I can get behind, not the fake horse shit over here. Point Messi. Number 36, Barcelona nil Juventus 3, 8th of December 2020, UCL group stage. The era of Bantalona. Did he really have to post this shit? Wrecked. And it's a shame because it just made Messi look worse than he actually was on the day, because he was actually very good. Because while Juventus were on point and Ronaldo benefited from it and played well himself, not to mention winning one of his 2 penalties himself, Messi was playing alongside a bunch of dart heads and still forced the issue multiple times. So closer than you'd think, but a clear winner nonetheless. Point Ronaldo. Number 37, Riyadh 11-4 PSG 5, 23rd January 2023, mid-season friendly. To date, the final time these two have faced off. Man, I really hope this isn't the last. So both guys played about an hour each here, and considering this was a mid-season friendly, it's crazy to think how this had almost as much drama as peak Clasico. Wild times. But yeah, as far as these guys, Messi opened the scoring and the end. That was about it. The rest of his time on the pitch was him completing his 6k for S health. Meanwhile, Ronaldo played like he always does regardless of what kind of game it is. Desperate to impress, desperate to take center stage. And after shedding some blood, sporting a black eye, smashing in a pen and poaching another in, I'd say it was mission accomplished. Point Ronaldo. Final score, Messi 19, Ronaldo 21. And that is that. Agree or disagree beats indifference. Once again, don't forget to like, comment and share. And of course, subscribe. Till next time, you keep rolling.